What's up, Giants fans, Hub watchers? If you not exist anymore, I don't blame you. KB watchers, YouTube subscribers, Twitter and Instagram followers, what's good? What's happening? It's Kush, it's KB, back at it again after a extremely long time. I've appeared on KB's channel several times, but the official Young Guns podcast, I feel like hasn't been a thing since 2023. How y'all doing, man? KB, how you doing, man? You know what? I'm so rusty. I think you might still be muted. I'm so rusty that
I am.
I completely forgot my usual routine. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out Norcage Live. Shout out Mike Nixon. How y'all doing, man? KB, go ahead, brother.
What's going on, everybody? We are back. It feels good to be back, man. It feels good to be back after everybody for years, or months. People thought that there was like a breakup between me and Kush, man. They're like, whatever happened to Kush? You never have him on your channel anymore. What happened to him? And we're back, baby. We're back. We're a little older. Apparently, everybody made sure of it. Everybody made sure that they told us that we are no longer young guns anymore. But, we'll get to that later.
I don't even think we're at Unk age, bro. That's the crazy part. We're older, but we're not at Unk age. That's
Everybody's
insane.
calling us Unks now, man.
Listen, you know what's? It's funny that people were like, they thought we had a breakup because it's like I still appeared on your channel. It's not like I wasn't on YouTube, but I was on KB's channel. I would say for the major events in the football season, I was on his channel.
Yeah, this past draft, I think both drafts you appeared on, right?
Yeah, both drafts that I was away, I appeared. I would even say some Giants games I appeared, even some after streams. It's but I get it, guys. Before we get into it, shout out. Oh my God, OGR! Holy shit!
Oh my, yeah, I know it's been a while, OGR.
Oh my God, Marley, he said no mustache, or she said, I'm not sure, Marley, but you said no mustache is crazy. I actually shaved yesterday, and it looks like I shaved a couple days ago because this stuff grows back fast, man. It's crazy. Look, but KB is out here supplying mustache.
Stop saying that, man, because you're showing your unk age right now.
Oh my God. You know what, guys? Listen, let's just get it out the way, KB. All right. People are calling us old. They're calling us unks. I personally love the podcast name. KB loves the podcast name. And, as we get back into the swing of things and we get back all our old viewers and possibly new ones, we'll see what you guys say. But if you think there should be a name change, drop that suggestion anywhere. You could tag me on Twitter or tag KB on Twitter. Just drop it and we'll see. But I think we should stick with it. Even if we're like 40 plus doing this, I think we should stick with Young Guns. I don't know.
Can you imagine we're 40 years old, we got kids and a family, and we're calling ourselves the Young Guns?
I know, right?
Oh, man.
Oh, God. Well, guys, let's get right into it. And what better way to get right into it by actually playing the actual intro.
Look at those two handsome young men.
Oh my, when I went through my channel before I came back, I see why people were like, oh, no mustache is crazy. I think for 99% of the channel's life, I've had facial hair. There's maybe one video or stream where I'm
right, and then ever since I was able to grow mine, I just left it that way because
maybe started off clean shaven or with a little line.
I did. I can't go back to that, man. I lose all right, everybody could call me an unk. I don't care. I just don't want to look like I'm 15. So
yo, shout out to Benny. I don't know if I said shout out to Benny.
We're seeing a lot of nostalgic names over here. Nerd Cage Live has been a while.
I gotta say this. Thank you guys so much. And you guys deserve an explanation. I don't want it to take up too much of the podcast time because the football season starts in about
we got in a fight, guys. We got in a fight.
KB, right, go ahead, man. You tell him, bro. You tell him how you wronged me, bro.
It was a 2-year fight. It was a 2-year fight, and we just didn't see certain ways. We had an argument over Transformers lore. So
and then it escalated when it turned into an argument about DC decisions. And
DC decisions.
And listen, Nah, but in all seriousness, I was away purely because of what I've told you guys every time I kind of gave an update. It was just life. And it's crazy I have to go back 2 years, and I'm sorry it took that long. But like at first, I was focused on graduating college. Then I graduated, and I was focused on finding a job. Guys, I don't know if you know the state of the world or the economy right now. The job market is pretty terrible, but it's been bad for a while. It's not like it's anything new. When I came out of college, it was a pretty tough time for my field. I jumped 3 jobs in like 6 or 7 months. So doing that, it takes up a lot of time because you got to get acclimated at a new job. You want to spend time doing that. When I finally got settled, I got a new job and I had to move. Like I don't live in the city anymore. I'm back in the city like almost every week though to visit my parents because they're still there. But I don't live in the city anymore, so I moved. I had to adapt to a new life and new lifestyle. And then I'm not gonna lie, the last year I've been lazy and I've been waiting for the motivation and the inspiration to hit to come back. Like that's what it was. Everything else took a year, but then we here and we back. Shout out to Kyle Cruz.
Yo, yo, Abed just sent us a just nasty Twitter photo, man.
No way. Let me take a
Well,
look, bro.
just messed up, man. Just messed up. He said Cush and KB back at 7 p.m. and he put like Jerry Rice and like Dan Marino in those and
Wait. I'm not seeing this on Twitter. Where is that? I'm not getting the
he
notification.
oh it was I'm gonna tag you right now.
That's
Damn,
so
bro.
funny. Is
That is
is
us
is the
though,
is the unk
honestly.
where they're clapping in like the thing, isn't it? I know what you're talking about for that one
No,
commercial.
yeah, it's like Jerry. Yeah, it's just a picture of Jerry Rice and Dan Marino in their jerseys as like 60-year-olds. But
Oh my god, bro. That's
oh
so funny.
man,
All right, guys, let's get to what we're gonna be talking about tonight. Since we gotta keep in mind the time. There's really four main topics. The Giants season preview, prediction, whatever you want to call it. Just we're going to talk about what we're feeling for this season. Then we got to talk about week 1 against the Commanders. We're going to get into a little bit of general NFL towards the end. I want to say, all right, who you think is going to win stuff like MVP, Depoy, and Coach of the Year. We could get into other awards, but the three main ones. And then finally, take a walk around the league and see how everybody else is doing, what we're thinking about matchups. So, first off, KB, as we're starting with season expectations, I called the stream "Are the Giants fans on Hopium?" You're familiar with the Hopium and Copium meme, right? I don't need to explain it to you, do I?
yeah.
Are we on that? Because I feel like 2 months ago we had much more. I don't know if realistic is the word or pessimistic is the word, but every Giants fan I spoke to and even that I kept up with while watching, I feel like everybody was like, "Yeah, it's a 5-6 win season, maybe 7 at most." Preseason happened. Jackson Dart showed out. Certain parts of the team look really good. And I feel like a lot of people, I won't say most, but I feel like a lot of people are now leaning a little bit more to like maybe it's more like 8 wins.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the hopium? Is it just the rush of the season starting back? Is it just the rush of the new talent and the young dudes that are in here? You tell me, man.
Well, I think, man, because it's hard to say. It's hard to like accuse our whole fan base of being on the hopium if I feel like I'm on the hopium as well.
I do
you,
too.
you know what I'm
I
saying?
feel like
Like,
I'm huffing it too, man.
yeah, I feel like it has such a negative connotation to it, but it's good, right? It's good. It's good to feel good about your team, even if you had years and years of agony. But I think it's a combination of a lot of things. One, it's like the hope of the future, having another, potential franchise quarterback, and him getting off to such a great start, and all the great things we're hearing about it. And then on top of that, the roster building, like we're getting a lot of good talent in here. You saw what happened in this offseason. We got it. Like no matter how we felt about Joe Shane, you got to tip your cap to him and what he was able to do, bringing in certain players and then having an outstanding draft. Abdul Carter, just second year players like Tyrone Tracy coming back. Like we feel good about these players, and it makes us in turn feel good about the season where, prior to the draft and maybe in free agency, I was like, oh, maybe we're gonna win like 5 games or something like that. But now it's like I legitimately, I don't know, maybe I brainwashed myself into thinking that we can win 7 to 9 games. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But even though this is literally the Giants have the toughest schedule in the NFL, and I know a lot of people like to disregard strength of schedule because teams could be good and bad in different years, but at the same time, there's no denying that the majority of our schedule were playoff teams last year. Like that, it
It
is what it
stands for
is.
something.
Yeah, it stands for something. So that is going to be a challenge. You know, not every playoff team are just going to be bad the next year, that bad teams are just going to beat up on them. You know what I'm saying? So the Giants right now, are they still a bad team? Yes, until they show me otherwise. But on paper, this is the best the Giants have had on paper since like I don't even remember 2015. Not even. Not even. When was the last time we had a roster like this? 2016, maybe. And the defense really like carried that because we had a lot of names
Yeah.
on defense. But
I was
on
gonna say
offensively, we had
2016
Eli and
because of the
Odell.
defense.
Yeah, and offensively, it was just Eli and Odell back there. I mean, we had Rashad Jennings. Like, I like Rashad Jennings, but is he really that good? Like, this is as far as like offense and defense. I can't tell you when the Giants have had a better roster. To be honest with you, better offensive line than we've ever had, than I've been a fan of. Offensive line, defensive line, front seven in general. We have a young but really talented secondary. And then the quarterback room. Say what you want about Russell Wilson. I'm gonna let Russ cook, man.
I think people are ragging on him a little too much.
They are. And if you look at the statistics and watch Russell Wilson play, like when he was in Denver and Pittsburgh, he still put up good numbers. And if you watched him, yes, he's not 2015 Russell Wilson, but he's still a good quarterback, experienced quarterback. I think he's shown that to us through camp because he was still the best quarterback in camp. As much as we want to talk about Jackson Dart, he is right now the best quarterback on the roster. We'll see what happens if Jackson Dart gives us that juice later on in the season. But yeah, man, I'm excited. And it's funny because it feels like a dream come true, maybe just a little late. But I remember back in high school, I maybe was a sophomore in high school, I think, maybe a junior. I think I was a junior actually. I remember making a report on like the NFL and stuff like that because like one of your interests. And I made a report on the NFL, and like one of my dream quarterbacks that I wanted on the Giants one day, one was Andrew Luck and the other was Russell Wilson. So it just feels like a dream come true having Russell Wilson in Giants blue and wearing that helmet. But yeah, I know he's at the tail end of his career, but I still love that Russell Wilson is a New York Giants. Crazy saying that.
I don't blame you for saying that. Real quick, Kyle says it, and then let me see. What was the other comment? It might have been Kyle. Yeah. 6. What is the joke? You know what? I'm not gonna get into that. I don't know. That's Gen Alpha.
Man, you are a fit. You are an unk for real. Hey, you're not beating the unk allegations. You're not beating the unk allegations. I know. I saw that.
They called me a millennial. I'm like, I'm Gen Z. I'm not that old, guys. I don't know what you guys think. What year you think I was born? But that's
I'm like a year.
Alpha joke that I
am the first year of Gen Z. By the way, I'm still Gen Z. Unfortunately, I wish I was a millennial.
I don't know you're talking about, but let me not get sidetracked. Kyle said it's easy to get sucked into having that hope, getting on that hopium when you've had a really good preseason and the team played really well in the preseason. I think we had a crazy stack, KB. I don't know the numbers exactly, but I think we outscored our opponents more than any other team in the preseason. Granted, I'm saying that word so much. Take a shot every time I say it. It is just preseason. There was also another crazy stat connected to that, which I don't blame you if you don't believe it, because once again, context of the situation, where it was like teams that outscored their opponents like that, or that scored 60 points combined or more, something along those lines in the preseason. There's only been like 7 or 8 ever teams to do it. Of that 7 or 8, 6 of them made it to the playoffs in the regular season. I'm just like, I feel like that's such a coincidence, so I don't want to put too much stock into it. But of course, that also makes me feel more hopeful for the season. And by the way, I think the Texans are going to be fine. If you stick around to the end where we talk about the general NFL, Kyle, we'll get into that.
Texans are going to be fined?
Going to be fine, not fine.
Oh,
so
fine.
Let me enunciate a little bit more. We'll get into that when we get to the general NFL. But with Russell Wilson, let me start off with that, bro, because I do think people are really – I think it's one of 2 things, KB, or one of 3 things. Oh, my God, now I think about it. One, we all know that the Giants are the media's favorite whipping boy. It's been that way for about 10 years. I don't know how or when that transition happened. I just know it's been about 10 years. They love to rag on the Giants for legitimate and illegitimate reasons. A lot of times it's illegitimate. A lot of times it's blown out of proportion. So it could be that. 2, it could be that people still think he's like year 1 and even parts of year 2 Broncos Russell Wilson, which, yes, was a terrible quarterback. Everybody could say and agree to that. And three is that they just did not watch him in Pittsburgh. I'm not going to come out here and say, oh, yeah, he was like a top 10 quarterback in Pittsburgh. Russell
He played
Wilson
good for
was
them.
very serviceable and had a legitimate bounce back year with the Steelers.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
if he could do that for us, and somehow, some way, in training camp and in the preseason stuff, somehow, some way, it looks like his deep ball even bounced back more than what it was in Pittsburgh. If he could do that for us, we're going to be just fine. Like, that's what we need because we already have, knock on wood, the future on the roster. I think people are talking about Russell Wilson like he's a bottom 5 starter in the league, and I just don't think that's true. Not when you got like who's starting for the Saints, bro? Is it Rattler or is it Chuck? Not when you got
It's
out
Rattler.
there, bro.
It's
The
Rattler.
Rat Pack.
Listen, yeah, yeah. Even if there's the pessimistic Giants fans out there that like don't think we're gonna win a game, at least we're gonna win one in Week 5. I can tell you that much. Well, against the Saints, when we go up against the Saints, we're gonna win one in Week 5. So this won't be a winless season like some people say, but that's a definite
I
win.
actually did see that. Okay, I gotta ask you this question, KB, and if anybody in the chat, go ahead and answer as well. One of my favorite sports channels on YouTube, but they're usually just an NBA channel. They're only recently started delving into the NFL. Is Synthetic Sports. Have you ever heard of them?
No.
So highly recommend because they make really easily digestible content, even for people that don't know necessarily what they're talking about. Their editing is great. I look up to them as an inspiration. But one of their first videos diving into the NFL was 3 words to describe every team season this upcoming season. For the Giants, I was shocked that they said this. No games won. And I'm just like, their whole
That's
reasoning
crazy.
is the strength of schedule, which we agree.
I
Like we said,
understand that, but it's like
you should put some stock into it. But I was like, this is a casual fan's outlook on it. I can't blame a casual fan for thinking that way because we just won 3 games. And now the team that won 3 games was gifted the hardest schedule in the NFL. That's what you're looking at if you're the casual fan. If you're the casual fan, once again, you're not thinking or you weren't keeping up with Russell Wilson and bouncing back in Pittsburgh. You got the latest headline in your head, which is Russell Wilson was ass in Denver. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
I just don't think we're going to be that bad. Do I think we're going to be as good as 7, 8, 9 games? And that's what we're getting into. Are we getting our hopes up too much? I got something very interesting for you, KB, to argue for that. I'm going to give you a position that you got to argue to me now in favor for.
Okay.
Are the 2025 Giants going to be comparable? Funny that this team was already mentioned to the 2023 Houston Texans, who drafted a quarterback and pass rusher in the first round that helped immediately turn their team around, along with improving the weaknesses during the offseason through free agency. That's what the Texans did that year. And now I'm not saying they won, double-digit games and they went quite far. What are you saying? Argue that to me.
I think it's a real good possibility. I would have to dive deep into that season for CJ Stroud and Will Anderson, like how much they changed it, or even just how much the organization changed themselves around. We do have to keep in mind they had a new head. Didn't they have a new head coach? D'Amico Ryans came with.
I think
CJ
that was his
Stroud,
first
right?
year. That was his first year.
So that's the only that will be a difference. And I would say out the gate, CJ Stroud was just better than Jackson Dart, and I think CJ Stroud started day one. So there's a couple of differences there, but I like the similarities there of drafting an edge rusher and a quarterback to restart like your franchise or restart the building process. And I think it's a really good start. Our friend of the show, Paul Dottino, is cool to say that. I remember him saying years ago, the way you start building a team is you get a quarterback and get someone that can rush the quarterback. And the Giants did just that in one draft in the first round, and it could be a start in going in the right direction. I think it is a start in going in the right direction. We've seen nothing but positive signs from those 2 players alone, including all the other players that we acquired via free agency and in the draft. Just in this year, just in this year, a lot of people are talking about the 3-win New York Giants team in 2024. Look at that roster compared to what this roster looks like. It's a totally different team. Yeah, sir.
Especially
you
the
got some returning
secondary,
starters.
bro. I feel like that's not talked about enough.
Absolutely, especially the secondary. Even though the offensive line looks the same, it's a healthy offensive line for the most part. We got to talk about AT later, man. Oh my god.
No, we're 100% talking about the offensive line. Trust me.
Yeah. But then you got a receiving core coming back. A tight end room's pretty much coming back. You got a running back room that, listen, even though you're only adding in Cam Scatterboo, I think it totally changes the dynamic of that running back room because now Tyrone Tracy isn't forced to be something that he's not, and that's a workhorse back. You
Yeah.
legitimately have a good rotation of running backs that you can work with. And biggest addition, the lack of Daniel Jones. That's the biggest
That's the
addition.
biggest
Like you
subtraction,
could
like
have,
addition by subtraction I've seen in my life, bro.
bro.
Oh my
The
god.
fact, listen. Russell Wilson, I think, is an average starter in this league. I think he's fine. He's fine. He is miles better than anything than Daniel Jones ever could have been. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like constantly, I would have to watch film throughout the years, especially last year, of Daniel Jones dinking and dunking, and us finding a way to
Yeah.
still be in these games, dinking and dunking. Imagine having the defense that we have and airing the ball out and being a threat through the air. Like, I
For
think that's
years,
a
KB.
big difference.
For years, he literally held back the offense just by being who he was and being the type of quarterback that he was and being somebody that in year 5, 6, 7, whatever year it is now, that didn't have pocket presence, didn't have pocket awareness, and always, as you said, just looked for the safe option. Uh, and there's whole reasons that we already got into several times on this podcast about how he became that. But it's the biggest addition by subtraction by any team this offseason. I don't care what anybody says. Genuinely having good quarterback play, especially somebody that knows how to manipulate the pocket and traverse in the pocket, that alone helps out the offense a lot and does the theme a lot. But it also helps out, the offensive line. Last year, I think, what was it, the first 5 or 6 weeks, KB, where we had a healthy offensive line? It was not a bad line. Their sacks were being taken were the quarterback's fault.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying all of them, but most of them, it was not a bad line for that time period last year, bro.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad line at all. Honestly, they started off the year pretty good. Like, watching them, they started off pretty competent. Having Andrew Thomas and Jermaine Illuminor out there, like, were good, ends of the offensive line. But, there is still some discrepancy that, like, there's still JMS, like, he is dog water. Like, he's
I'm
bad. Like, I can't.
surprised that's a guy that's a bust, man. I'm so
I
surprised.
will say, I never liked that man. I never liked JMS. I never did. I
You
can't.
saw
I can't.
something.
Yeah. I saw something, and I did not like
Actually,
JMS.
interestingly enough, do you remember what it was that made you say that? Like, what was it, 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
My problem is that it was more of a run game thing. I didn't think he was going to be that bad of a pass blocker, but in the run game, I don't think he was able to keep up, like, especially like in zone running where he has to move. He wasn't able to keep up with the flow. Like, he was constantly getting lost out there and constantly getting overpowered as well. I really had an issue when everybody was saying like he's so strong. He constantly got overpowered in college, in my opinion, and kind of got thrown around everywhere. Not like a rag doll. I mean, he's still a big guy, but it just wasn't something I said, like, I really need to get this guy. Like, I remember a lot of people saying they wanted him in the first round. I was like, man, I just don't see it, especially for a center. Like, for a center, like, think about it. Even Tyler Linderbaum went late in the first round, and I loved Linderbaum, So it's like, you really have to jump off the screen as a center for me to say I want to take you in the first round. And I just never really liked. I like the other ones. I like the one who got drafted to the Jets. I can't remember. His name is escaping me right now. And then Luke Whippler, who got drafted in the 5th round to Cleveland. I liked him better than JMS. So it's like,
and look at somebody like Cam Jurgens on the Eagles, who I think he was drafted second or third, or maybe even later. And he wasn't even drafted as a center, if I remember correctly. I think he was drafted as a guard, and they moved him to center.
Yeah,
like
yeah. He's replacing some huge shoes in Jason Kelsey. And they like him.
To be fair to him, he's been doing fine. I hate the Eagles, but I can't hate their offensive line development. Whatever they got going on over there is like black magic. Like, they got some wizardry going on.
Joe Tippmann. I liked him better than JMS.
Yeah. Shout out to JW. Getting back to the O-line and how the offense has improved, I like that you brought up the running back room. I do think adding Cam Scatterboo, even though it was basically the only addition, is something good because, as you said, no offense to Tyrone Tracy and no offense to any Tyrone Tracy like stands and truthers out there, I look at Tyrone Tracy as somebody that's not a feature back, like meaning somebody that's not going to be the top echelon of running back.
And that's not a bad thing. It's just not who he is.
It. Yeah, you know who he reminds me of actually. He kind of reminds me of what Melvin Gordon was to the Chargers. Now, not Melvin Gordon at his peak, but Melvin Gordon when he started splitting runs with Austin Eckler, when Austin Eckler was like a rookie and sophomore.
Mm,
Like I never thought Melvin Gordon was like a top back in the league either. But like that's Tyrone Tracy's ceiling to me. He's just somebody that you need somebody to split the rock with him. You need somebody to come in and relieve those rushes for him. And
yeah.
it's not like he can do everything. We had a back that could do everything. As John says, we know what it is to have a back that could do everything. Tyrone Tracy's not that. That's not bad. The thing I am concerned about though, KB, and this could be me being rusty to the whole being so into football game. Is there any other team in the league right now that is a super successful team that has a running back by committee? It feels like most of them they kind of have that feature back.
I don't. To be honest with you, I think teams are. I just did a fantasy draft last night. I couldn't find a team that didn't have a running back by committee. I couldn't like the Ravens and Eagles don't have a running back by. They have Saquon and Derrick Henry.
Mhm.
Everybody else, I can't really find. Okay, maybe you got Bijan, but Bijan Robinson has Tyler Algier. You know what I mean? It's like they have good rooms now. I don't like running back by committee. I like it for this certain scenario because Tyrone Tracy is not a feature back, like you said.
Yeah,
And I agree with that. And that's not, by the way, guys, that's not hate on Tyrone Tracy. That's just not the player he is. The guy is
yeah.
a former wide receiver, okay? Like, he's not built like a feature, like a guy that's going to get hit 25 times a game, you know? So,
You saw?
I prefer having feature
Yeah.
backs, but yeah, I think the NFL is moving way more towards committees now.
Especially
So,
with
unfortunately.
especially with the revival of the running back position, because the thing that everybody now this got to be a casual take, I'm sure you agree, where everybody, including people on ESPN, are saying, "Oh, too high is ruining the sport." No, it's not. It's balancing it out. We've seen this happen throughout history,
Oh
where
my
receivers are the ones that are
God.
feature, and the running game goes down, and people are like, "Are running backs worth more?" And then, and guess what? It swaps. We've seen this happen
Yo,
before.
Brett Coleman made an
Head.
amazing video on that. On
Mm-hmm.
that. He was saying, bro, how are you saying that when the cover 3 usage is going up every single year? And I see that on film. You know what's crazy? I don't even see too high that much when I watch film. It's always single high.
When these
Always
people
single
say it,
high.
and we shouldn't be surprised that it's happening on networks like ESPN that are supposed to be the professionals. We already know for years how professional they really are. But I saw a clip of that Brett Coleman video that you're talking about. At one point, he really brought up that was great. Is like, what are they counting as too high? Lining up in it or actually executing it?
Yes, pre-snap or post-snap. Like come on.
Yeah.
Like yeah, I know. It's crazy. It's
So
crazy.
going on from that, I mean, the offense significantly improved. Let's talk about the offensive line real quick, uh, and then we'll just end it off this section of the pod with, all right, where are we really laying at with the season? The offensive line. We'll talk about the concern with Andrew Thomas in the next topic with the Commanders because it directly relates. But how do you feel this offensive line has improved, if at all, this offseason? Because I think we're just bringing back people. I'm not like we drafted Marcus Bowe, who everything we're hearing about him is great, and I would be happy to finally draft somebody that we were able to develop because he was a late round pick. How you feeling about the line, and how have we improved
The defensive line,
the offensive line?
the offensive line. Um, as far as the starters, it hasn't really changed much with the starters because everybody's the same. But with the depth, I am a little bit more confident in the depth, and it's just because of Marcus Bowe.
Yeah.
It's just because I
Get
think
James
Marcus
Hudson
Bowe.
off my team, by the way.
Get James Hudson off my team, bro. $6 million a year, by the way. He's getting paid $6 million.
Yeah.
That is $500,000 less than Jermaine Illuminor is making. He's literally making only $500,000 less a year than
Which, by
Jermaine
the way,
Illuminor, who's a starter and a good starter.
Joe Shane, why the hell haven't you extended him yet? I was asking this last year when I was on the couch.
They better extend him before his price goes up.
Because
Unless they're waiting to see if he's healthy throughout the season, fine. But you better want to pay him because if he has a good season, his price is going to go up dramatically. You should want to get that done soon. James Hudson, I really never understood that signing. and I still don't, because now we're at a point where we went into a draft drafting a fifth round tackle, and he's, even though he shouldn't have been drafted in the fifth round. I think somebody said
He
it was
dropped.
some injury concern. Somebody said it was some injury concern with his foot or something like that. I don't remember. But either way, he shouldn't have dropped that far. I liked him. I didn't. I'm not gonna say that I did extensive film work on him, but I heard of him. And I like watching him on film as a Giant. Oh my God, he was destroying third and fourth stringers. Fine, I get it. But let me tell you, against the Patriots, they literally had to turn whoever 99 was on the Patriots. They had to move him to the other side because he couldn't do anything against Marcus Bowe. He was on the other side the rest of the game because Marcus Bowe put him on his ass like 3 times. They had to switch over. So Marcus Bowe is I think,
I'm
honestly,
loving him.
I would rather, because I assume we're gonna segue into Andrew Thomas soon.
Yep.
I assume James Hudson is gonna be out there week 1, which, oh my God, I have to
I don't know
make sure I do
why
my prayers.
no, they need to put Bo out there instead of him.
I would.
Like, we're
I
gonna get
am
killed.
more comfortable putting out the rookie fifth round tackle out of Purdue out there than NFL veteran James Hudson. He was terrible, guys. When we did our film review, I did my film review last year when against the Cleveland Browns. I was like, yo, who is this James Hudson guy? He's terrible. Now he's on my team. What the hell? So yeah, screw that. I
Yeah.
would rather have Marcus Bowe. And to what you said about the offensive line, I do like it a lot better. Just the fact that now we're healthier. We're not completely healthy.
Knock on wood. I'm knocking on
Yeah,
wood.
we're healthier, and we have a guy that I'm excited about in Marcus Bowe.
Marcus
As
Bowe.
far as Evan Neal, I really wanted them to
Evan.
bite the bullet.
Evan Neal.
Evan Neal. Oh yeah. What did I say? What did I say?
No, I was just like, that's his nickname on Twitter, bro.
Evan Neal.
Yeah.
Shout out Pro Bogano, bro. He had his
Yeah.
Instagram deleted or banned.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. My boy Abed. We got Dundee, Jaden in here. Thank you guys once again. We're gonna end off this section, like I said, by all right, where are we laying at? I'm gonna lay my wood. No, that's not the right one.
All right.
I'm gonna
All right.
I'm gonna lay my bets on 6 wins. I'm gonna stay conservative even after I was just like KB, just like most of the fan base. I'm like, yo, we could really do like 8 wins, 9 potentially. I'm gonna go safe. I'm gonna say 6. I'm gonna put stock into the tough schedule. Obviously, I want to be proven wrong. What are you looking at?
I'm saying between 7 and 9. I guess I'm on the Hopium. I guess I am, but like I went through the schedule again because I don't want to spoil like if we're gonna talk about Washington soon, but
Right up next.
Yeah, I mean people already. If you guys, a lot of you guys were on Roundtable Sports yesterday. I already said what I predict, but it's definitely in the Giants' favor, I guess you could say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I am confident.
And I think we could both agree the way the season goes, it's gonna really be affected by how this game goes.
Yeah,
like, that's how it always is.
Honestly, the first 2 games really are gonna show because it's against division opponents. Because not only do those wins matter, those division records matter.
Yeah, and then with that being said, we'll get right into it, man. Washington, the Commanders. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I have no respect for Washington. I got no respect for them as a franchise. I got no respect for them, as a ownership group with who's involved. Magic Johnson, I think. Like I got no respect for them. The only respect that I could try and give them is that I actually really like Jaden Daniels. I really like Jaden Daniels, and he could have been a Giants quarterback. That's a whole other topic and situation. That being said, that goes into the reason I bring up the disrespect. And KB, we know this. We've said this over the years on the channel. Washington has always been the little brothers to me in the NFC East. I always hated the Eagles. I've always the Eagles literally incite rage into my system anytime I think about them or talk about them. The Cowboys, I know for older fans, that's how it is with the Cowboys. The Cowboys, I hate them, but not nearly as much as the Eagles. I think I just have way more hate for the Eagles. And now the Cowboys, especially this year, they're just messing up left, right, and center. I'm not too worried about them. The Commanders have always been off my radar because even no matter how bad the Giants are, the Commanders, you're not beating us. You know what I mean? Last year was the outlier. It was not how it usually goes. But I do not like this Washington team because I think age is finally going to have to hit. Their defense also similar to the Giants. It does not look the same. For I guess for their team, they feel like it's improved. Their secondary as well, I think, has gone through some changes. But they have so many people that are like either their starters or their quote unquote stars that are up there in age. And I'm just like, it's gonna have to hit soon. The plateau comes for everybody. The drop off comes for everybody. And I think that is what is coming from Washington, at least on the defensive side of the ball, combined with the fact that
Hmm.
I think we're more improved than they are improved. And I think they did get some lucky breaks last year. I think Jaden Daniels bailed them out more than their fans would like to admit last year. And if for him to do that again, he would literally have to be in that top 3 QB conversation. Like the amount of games they're in that Daniels literally willed them to a win to, if you go back and watch, was insane. For him to have a repeat of that, he would be like a top 3, top 2 quarterback in the NFL. I'm not saying he can't be that. I'm just saying like that's the probability of that being the case is really low. I think we have a better defensive line than them, although I will give credit to their offensive line, KB. If there
Yeah.
is an offensive line in the NFL that I think that not that could stop our defensive line, but they'll have a not the worst time against it is Washington. I'm really jealous that they got Laramie Tunsil. I do like Josh Connolly. I actually wanted the
Hmm.
Giants to get him if it was possible. I think
Hmm.
those just having two good tackles in the NFL, you're gonna be fine. You could kind of fill in with just some mid guys in the middle, and it would work. But they have good guys in the middle too. So, but I still think just by the numbers, we have four guys that could rush the passer. I think we will have the advantage there. I think that our receiving core at the top level, meaning just Malik Neighbors, is better than whatever they got out there defending against them.
Hmm.
And I
That's for
think I
sure.
think those two are going to be the main factors. And I do think that we win this game. I'll say that.
Yeah, I listen. Everybody was shocked because we did the roundtable sports. We went around talking about the game, obviously, and of course, everybody chose Washington except me. And like really thinking about it, guys, let's put this in perspective here, okay? The Giants lost in week 2 against Washington because they didn't have a kicker. The Giants scored 3 touchdowns on that team. The Washington Commanders, with against a worse Giants team, only put up field goals against us, and we lost that game because we didn't have a kicker. We had 3 touchdowns, they had no touchdown. They had full field goals. The
Mm-hmm.
second game around, a lot of people like to say, "Oh, well, we took a knee at the 1 yard line, so it wound up being it should have been 34-22." Well, shoulda, woulda, coulda. It was just a 5-point difference in that game, 27-22. So we were in all of those games. We were in all of those games. And now this team got a lot better. Granted, did Washington get better in certain aspects? Sure. But if you ask me, first of all, there's a built-in multiplier because it's the Giants versus Commanders. We just naturally have dominance over that team no matter
No
how
matter how
bad we
bad we
are.
are,
No
yeah.
matter how there are times that we had a 6-win season and we swept Washington. Okay, so it's like it doesn't matter how bad we are. We always find a way to stay in games with Washington. They haven't beaten us. I think it was 2021 they beat us like it was a bad score. It was a bad score. I can't remember
Washington
what.
is to us what unfortunately we are to the Eagles, at least in recent memory, because the
Yeah,
historical, I think the historical what you call it win loss record is actually really close. Um,
yeah,
but like even when the Eagles were bad, they always found a way to either stay
yeah.
in it with the
Always
Giants or beat the Giants.
beat us.
That
Yeah.
is what it is with the Giants and the Commanders.
And I know a lot of people like say, oh, but that was pre Jaden Daniels, and like as if Jaden Daniels is like Jesus Christ himself. Like, dude is human, and I'm telling you right now,
KB, that's what I'm saying,
that
bro.
front
Last
seven
year,
is going to shake him up. I guarantee you.
bro, last year he bailed them out so much. That's what I'm saying, dog. For him to do that again this year, he would
Hmm.
have to be Jesus, bro. Like he would
Yeah.
have to be one of the greatest quarterbacks in the NFL to do what he did last year. And that's a credit to him. I'm not taking that away. That's a credit to the historic rookie season that he had. But that's all I'm saying. Now, KB, of course, we both got to address it since we're both picking Washington.
Hmm.
If it's James Hudson out there, dog, I'm really shaking to my core. I'm not going to lie
I
to you. I'm
am.
shaking in my
I
boots.
am.
If it's James Hudson out there on the left side of the line for an old Russell Wilson, genuinely, bro, they might get like 4 sacks on us. I'm not even going to lie to you. Put Marcus Bow out there, please. Put Marcus Bow out there and put him at left tackle. I don't care. Keep Jermaine at the right. He's best at the right. Even if you want to move him left, we know he could do a serviceable job.
Mm-hmm.
What is the biggest threat then? Do you say the biggest threat for the Commanders, or from the Commanders to us, is their defensive line, or would it be something else?
The biggest threat to the Commanders is definitely our defensive line, I would say. I mean, you could say Malik Neighbors against whoever the hell they're gonna have out on him, whether it be Marshawn Lattimore. And Marshawn Lattimore is a shell of himself, so I don't know. But I think the easy answer would probably be the defensive line. But they have a nice offensive line. Which, here's the thing. Josh Connolly's a rookie. I'm really hoping that we just exploit him. You know what I mean? Just completely exploit him. Brian Burns lines up on his side, so Brian Burns has been cooking. You're a huge fan of your boy Brian Burns.
I'm a huge Spider-Man
You
fan,
love
bro.
Brian Burns ever since the beginning. So I'm hoping Brian Burns gives him his welcome to the NFL moment, and let Abdul Carter line up wherever the hell he feels like it. So yeah.
I'll say this though, because I hate defending our rivals. But KB, I'm sure you know, because I'm assuming you looked at least at some Connerly for the draft, some of his college tape. He is really good, bro. And I'm hoping that doesn't translate to the NFL just for our sake. But like, for example, when they were playing Penn State, Connerly held his own against Abdul. Like he was good, man. And that's scary as somebody that has to go against him. On the flip side now, biggest threat to the Giants, is it also Washington's D-line because of Andrew Thomas might not play week 1, and then we'll just get into Andrew Thomas right after that? Is it Washington's D-line that we have to worry about, or is it something else?
Yeah, let me quickly look up who lines up on Andrew Thomas's side supposed to be. I mean, not
Jaden said while you look that up. Jaden said, "False demon learned me to unsell his barbecue chicken."
False demon.
He's not that old. He's not that old yet. Yeah, but I'm hoping that he falls off.
I hope he's not the same. And he sustained injuries, a couple injuries throughout the years, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's had injuries. Yeah.
He's had injuries, because I remember there were times where Houston wanted to move him prior to this offseason because of those injuries, and they've even drafted tackles early. Why did he go to the Buccaneers? No, I'm on Washington. I'm literally on Washington, and it says, all right, this thing is glitching on me right now. Let me go back to Washington. All right. Let's see. All right. Old man Von Miller and Dorrance Armstrong. All right. I am not worried about that at all. However, it is James Hudson we're talking about. So I am worried in that
I would actually
aspect.
I would
But we're not talking about speed rushers right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say I wouldn't put it past James Hudson to let Von Miller have like a bounce back, turn back the clock game, bro. I wouldn't pass James Hudson.
Oh
man.
God, against the Giants, yeah, I know. But I heard with the Bills he was ass. Is that right? I heard with the Bills
he was, but he was also injured for most of the time. Now you keep that in mind. I'm still like he should be not Von Miller because it's injuries plus age. Like he's really old now. You know what I mean? Especially for somebody where the type of rusher he was, it relied on agility and speed like that.
Yeah, who's on the other side? He was at the peak of his career 10 years ago.
Yeah.
10 years ago. He's been in the league for a long time, Von Miller. Holy moly.
Who's on the other side?
Dorrance Armstrong, the former, remember he used to play for the Cowboys. He's a bigger defensive end, so I don't expect him to be like a speed rusher. You know what I mean? So if James Hudson is gonna get beat, it's gonna be with power. It's not gonna be with speed. So I honestly prefer that. I prefer you to get beat by power because that means you're giving Russell Wilson more time.
Exactly. And now I know up the middle they got Kinlaw, and do they still have Payne? I'm guessing, right? So we already talked about how we feel about JMS. So because of the injury situation, I would say they're in a favorable spot. Now, KB, I'm going to let you open it up with this one because you brought it up already. The Andrew Thomas situation. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a roller coaster. You know, he had that Liz Frank injury against the Cincinnati Bengals that knocked him out the entire year, and he's been, trying to work back to making a week 1 return, and for whatever reason we got our hopes up and he was back at practice, but we just got news today that he was out of practice. So the roller coaster went up and it went right back down, and it doesn't look like it's likely that Andrew Thomas is going to be ready for the season opener. Now, I made a video about him, and I did say I don't want to rush him back. So like I want Andrew Thomas at his full potential, because if you look at the statistics, his past 2 years, he's given up 4 sacks each year, and those 2 years he was not healthy. 2023, 2024, he was playing through injuries. And if you saw him in his rookie season, everybody knows about his rookie season. He was terrible because he was injured. A lot of people knew that he was fighting a foot injury that he had in college. He gave up like 10 sacks that year. All right, it's very clear when Andrew Thomas is not healthy, he does struggle giving up sacks. His 2 best years, 2021 and 2022, he gave up 5 sacks in those years total. One of those years was 3, the other was 2. So when he is on the top of his game, he's a top 3, I would say top 3 tackle in the NFL. But when he is hurt, it shows in his production. So I don't want to force Andrew Thomas out there and for him to possibly get hurt again, and of course not be who Andrew Thomas is. I don't want to just throw his name out there. I want Andrew Thomas, the player, out there. So if he's not healthy, I want to wait until he is. But man, the clock is ticking, bro.
I agree with you basically on everything you said. I feel like people are forgetting, and it's crazy that even some Giants fans, it seems like, are forgetting how good Andrew Thomas is when he's healthy. We have a top left tackle in the league. Unfortunately, we always have to tag on the sentence when healthy. Because he's been so injured in his career. It's coming to a point, KB, where I completely disagree with what I'm about to say, but I'm seeing Giants fans talking about trading him. I'm just like, you don't trade a franchise left tackle, especially after it took you so long to find him. I get that people are concerned about the injuries. I get people are concerned about, hey, how often is he really available? I'm with you on the let him take as long as he needs to take with this injury recovery, because hopefully that means there won't be another injury recovery. You know, it's very, very often it happens that athletes, they have repeat injuries in regions like the foot because they don't spend enough time recovering previous ones. So you're putting more strain on it. Things go wrong. Now, that I will give to you if you want to say that's me, that's Hopium right there. But I'm hoping if he needs to take like an extra 2-3 weeks or whatever, and he comes back week 4, week 5, let him do that so that he's back at 110%. What are you thinking about these trade ideas? Because you got people floating them around now.
I will say this, because I don't agree with that we should trade him. On top of that, you can't trade him. His dead cap money is through the roof. For
I think
the
especially
next
after
2
they've
years.
restructured his deal today, it makes it worse if you want to trade him.
It might be even worse. But before the restructure, he had like only a $4 million dead cap hit in 2027. So that remember, guys, he's in the first year of his big contract. Now, he signed that contract all the way in 2023. They signed him early. So, but he's in his first year of his big contract. I believe so. And so you don't want to trade him after you just signed him that long. You don't want to trade him after you signed him for that long, and you want to see if it works out, because he's a cornerstone of your offense. Like when Andrew Thomas is healthy, that offense is just automatically a lot better. And I'm with you. We were a huge Andrew Thomas fan since he was drafted. This is not, we wouldn't want to see Andrew Thomas out of here, but I will say this. I brought this up in my video. If we're at the point we're in 2027 and we haven't seen much of Andrew Thomas up to this point, you have to start thinking about trading him, because
I'll say,
you don't want to spend all that. You don't want to spend $117 million on somebody that's never on the field. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you there, KB.
But at this point, even if you find a team that's willing to eat all that money and we don't have to pay that dead cap, you may find one out there. You're not going to get much for it. You're not going to get much for Andrew Thomas as much as of a player he is, right? Because right now, Andrew Thomas is definitely worth a high first round pick for a bad team. Like say Cleveland, for example. I don't even know what their offensive line situation is right now, but I'm just using them as an example. Cleveland is probably going to be at the top of the drafts every year. You will want to trade him to a team like that. You would get a first round pick, maybe I don't know if you would get 2 first round picks, but that's how much of a player he's worth. You know what I mean? But if you were to trade him, you're probably going to get like a second rounder because he's always hurt. He costs so much. His dead cap is high, so it's like, if you do trade Andrew Thomas, you're not going to get as much as you think for him. You're not.
Everything again, I agree with you. We're lockstep with. I think it's stupid to trade him now. He's a franchise piece. When he's healthy, he's that guy. It's so funny you bring up 2027 because I feel like that's the perfect time. That's like 2 years from now. If you got 2 more years of him being more out than he is in, and at that point,
Mhm.
that's 7 years of his career. You got 5 years of injuries at that point, right? And just 2 healthy years. Yeah, at that point, you consider it. Now, no way. I'm not with it. Shout out to Ronnie popping in. All right, guys, let's go on to the next topic because we both agree that Washington, we got it. The next one is NFL award predictions. We're taking a step back from the Giants. We're taking a look at the bigger picture here. I'm gonna come out. I don't know if this is a hot take because I feel like every year people have the same MVP prediction. It's either Lamar or Josh Allen or Mahomes. I'm gonna go with the guy I have pictured here, but it's contingent on if he could drag that sorry defense to the playoffs. If Joe Burrow
I think that's good.
gets the
I think that
Cincinnati
helps. I
Bengals,
think that helps him. Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. If he gets the Bengals to the playoffs, he is the most valuable player in the league. He was the most valuable player in the league last year if we're going by the value definition. Without Joe Burrow there, the Bengals would have been the number one pick in the draft. Like, trust me.
I believe
He's
that.
continuously having these historic passing seasons. It's reminding me of Drew Brees when Brees was having these historic passing seasons and then his defense wasn't there, so they never made the playoffs. So if Burrow continues to have those passing seasons with Chase and T. Higgins, and there's in the playoffs, that's my prediction for MVP. But who you got?
I'm completely agree with you. I've always been a huge Joe Burrow fan. Now, I will say something, and everybody's gonna get mad at me, but I think another candidate would be Jaden Daniels. I think another candidate would be
You're
Jaden
not
Daniels
wrong.
because he's got so
Yes,
much
yeah,
hype around him already, and
yeah,
if he takes that sorry ass franchise again, like one season to the playoffs could be a fluke because Washington does it
yeah,
like every 4 years. They'll go to the
yeah.
playoffs for whatever reason. If he does it again, consecutive years, that's not even something RG3 has been able to do. Even his short stint there, and stay healthy and play up to his level that he's been playing. He can definitely be in that MVP race. But so I
Especially
would say
KB. Guess what?
between
Especially because, like I said, a lot of Washington fans don't want to admit it. A lot of their wins last year came because Daniels was willing them to that.
oh
So
my god, yes,
for them to be in the
yes.
playoffs again, he's gonna be willing them to wins
He
again,
is
and that helps his
he is
case.
a massive plus multiplier. Like he just massive, like he just him being his presence on the field automatically, like they have a chance of winning. Like I get they had a lot of people like to say, hey, they had so much additions. They changed everything around in that franchise. They even, they changed their owner, their coach, the coaching staff. They had
I
they had
sound
a
like you were about to say
draft,
they changed their
free
aura.
agents.
I was like, what is he talking about,
They
bro?
changed an aura shift. But all that is nice and cute and all that stuff. But a lot of teams do that and it doesn't work out. What is a huge factor? It's the quarterback. This is the quarterback. They drafted Jaden Daniels. I was a huge fan of Jaden Daniels. I would have
Brian Dable was too.
in GTA I would have hurt somebody to go get me Jaden Daniels. You know what I'm saying?
There was
But
nothing you couldn't have done to make me not
exactly. I
Jaden
would have
Daniels.
done some outlandish things to get Jaden Daniels. So I know how good he is, and I knew how good he could be. And
Yeah,
as far as an MVP race, you know what? I was in agreement with you with Joe Burrow, but just to be, just to have another option out there, I'm gonna say Jaden Daniels would probably be a front runner for me.
yeah.
I think he's already the best quarterback in the division. And a lot of people talk about Jalen Hurts. I
The
get it. He's a
Jalen
Super
Hurts
Bowl-
discourse has gotten out of control. Can we just acknowledge that for a second?
If you
It has
put
gotten way out of control.
Jalen Hurts on the Cowboys or Washington Commanders, they are not a good team. I'm sorry.
Yo,
I'm sorry.
there's
Put
people
Jalen Hurts
legitimately.
on the Commanders last year. It's a 7-8 win team. Promise.
And you know what the crazy part is? First off, shout out to Ronnie. Hey, Eli, what's up, my boy? How you doing?
Namar, what's
in
going on?
there.
Hey,
We
Eli in the
appreciate all of you.
building. What's good,
But you know
vibes?
what's the crazy part? He's not a bad quarterback.
He's not.
But
He's not. But he is
but,
not the reason why they're winning.
He's getting carried. He's getting carried. You know how bad the Jalen Hurts discourse has gone, KB? You might have seen this video, but I'm gonna play it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm trying to rage bait you. and I'm trying to rage bait the chat right now. I'm gonna share my screen real quick, bro. This is insane. This is how out of hand the Jalen Hurts discourse has gotten, bro. All right.
Jalen Hurts.
It's Jalen Hurts, man. I'm sorry, bro. It ends.
Oh my God, do I see Eli Manning?
Do this.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Eli went toe to toe with the.
Can you put full
but
screen? Are you able to
came
put full
out
screen?
Victorious.
Can't
There you
say Jalen Hurts did that.
Jalen Hurts
How
went
good
toe to
Eli
toe with
Manning.
this generation's GOAT and came out victorious once.
Exactly.
I'm gonna take Eli Manning.
I don't know.
Thank
I
you.
think
You are
Jalen
smart.
Hurts has all the big game chops that Eli does. Plus, I honestly think Jalen Hurts peaked higher. I think 2022 Jalen Hurts is better than any single season Eli had.
Oh, he did peak higher.
What?
Like, I hate to say it.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Regular
but
season Eli is just not consistently good, to say it the nicest way. I love Eli Manning. Delivered 2 Super Bowls. Oh, man. I'm going with Jalen Hurts.
oh, brother.
I
Take
already
that-
know
take that
everyone's
lower
gonna
third
say
off.
You're not a real fucking Giant fan if you're shitting on Eli.
Who was the last guy?
Matthew Stafford was level 5.
Okay, I'll take Staff.
I'll take Steph.
Is Jalen Hurts.
It's
All
Jalen.
right. Listen, I'm gonna keep this up for a second.
My God. Are these 15-year-olds in 30-year-olds' bodies? Have they not watched Eli Manning? Do nobody understand that Eli Manning was known, while he was playing, he was known as one of the most clutch quarterbacks in NFL history. Jalen Hurts, if Eli Manning has never sniffed an offense as good as Jalen Hurts has it right now. Sniffed it. That offensive line is twice, 3 times, 5 times better than any offensive line Eli Manning has had. And without the athleticism, Eli Manning is a penguin when he runs. He's not a dual threat. He's not a guy that beats you outside the pocket. He's not a guy that's able to extend time with his legs because he's not athletic. He had to do it all with his arm. With his arm. You're telling me he's peaked higher. Oh, I'm sorry. Did Eli Manning lose a Super Bowl? Am I forgetting that part? Was Eli Manning in the Super Bowl in 2000 when they lost to the Ravens? Was Eli Manning in that one? Because I don't remember the Giants losing another Super Bowl. He has 2 Super Bowl rings, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, and I'm sorry, has Jalen Hurts ever thrown for 4,000 yards in his career? Whoa, what's the most yards Jalen Hurts? I want to
They
see how
brought
much
up his peak, bro. They brought up his peak. He just had a 2,000-yard passing season.
Oh my God! Oh
He
my
just had a
God!
2,000
2,000 yards! And with a running game with Saquon Barkley, who's at the peak of his career right now? Yeah, Eli Manning had Saquon Barkley for a year. A year! He had Saquon Barkley for a year. And by the way, Saquon Barkley had a good year that year, but my
Look at me.
goodness.
Look at me. All right. You have no clue how good prime Eli Manning was. You have no clue how good playoff Eli was. Playoff, before everybody and their mom got the nickname playoff and then their name in both the NFL and NBA, there was playoff Eli. Playoff Eli was legitimate. Playoff Eli was actually a different beast. I don't know why he couldn't apply that to the regular season. Don't ask me. But if you got to the playoffs and Eli Manning was your quarterback and you go back in time and you were to ask other teams about this, they would love to have Eli Manning as their quarterback. He is one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history in general. I'm not going to put a freaking asterisk on that. I'm tired of people disrespecting him. But he is one of the greatest quarterbacks in the postseason in NFL history.
Do you know his resume in the postseason? His resume, we could talk about the undefeated season with New England had in 07, right?
2011 is
knocking
old.
them out. That New England Patriots team, it was talked about as being one of the best teams of all time. Like, they were unstoppable. And Eli with ice in his veins said, I don't give a damn about your record. I don't give a damn about who's on the other side of the quarterback on the other side of the field. I'm going to go out and win this game. Eli Manning has beat Brett Favre in his prime, has beat Aaron Rodgers. Weren't they like 15-1 or something like that? So another team which is outlandishly good, had an amazing record, and Eli Manning said, I do not care. I'm going to clutch it up. And Eli Manning, first of all, You tell me when Eli Manning has the most pass yards in a single postseason in NFL history, and he has not been in a postseason since 2016. And that's not even when he put up the record.
The record.
He put up
is
that record.
15 years
He
old.
put up that record in 2011. Nobody's been able to beat it.
Years old. KB, it is way more of a passing league now than it was in 2011.
Exactly.
Way more.
And
He's
hold
number
on.
one receiver.
In those
No
in 20
disrespect.
in 2007 and in 2011, when you talk about the Giants offense, who's the first name you say? Eli. Like, yeah, he had Victor Cruz, sure. But in 2007, Plax. All right, Plax was good. Like, who else did you have? Steve Smith?
Like,
Yeah. Like who else did you have? Like Steve Smith, Plax. You have Victor, who was like a flash in the pan, to be honest. It was Eli Manning. Who does Jalen Hurts have? We can go down the list, brother. We can go down the list. How many? You know what's funny? Do you know what's funny? A lot of Eagles fans like to boost up Jalen Hurts and then they completely ignore that they have a total super team around this guy. But I don't know why they don't like to talk about it. Like, they don't like that you bring up that AJ Brown's a top 10 receiver and Devontae Smith are like borderline top 10 receivers in the NFL. They're on the same team. Dallas Goedert, top 10 tight end in the league. Saquon Barkley, the best running back in the NFL. And their offensive line has consistently been the best in the NFL for like 3 or 4 years now. So, like, what are we talking about? Oh my God. I can't. That's nuts.
Hate. They're inciting hate on a player that doesn't deserve it too. Because once again, he's not a bad quarterback and he's actually a really good dude. But no, when you do shit like this, come on, bro. What are we talking about? He just had a season where he threw for what, like 2,800, 2,900 yards, something around that. What was it? 18 touchdowns? That's a Daniel Jones stat line. And I'm not saying he's Daniel Jones, but that's a Daniel Jones stat line. He's not better than Eli Manning. Like, we need to stop the cap, bro. Like, we are letting this get out of hand. We're letting the Jalen Hurts discourse get out of hand, and then we're letting the Eli Manning disrespect get out of hand. It didn't help the fact that the NFL didn't put him in the Hall of Fame as a first ballot. That just gave people more fuel to the fire. But I wanted to share this real quick because we ended up somehow talking about NFC East QBs, KB. I don't know how we got there. But we got there. But I like that we got there because I saw that today and I was like, I'm gonna have to bring, like, somehow, some way, I gotta bring this up, man. Because it was insane.
Like, Eli
there was only one dude there that picked Eli. And then one of the dudes that picked Jalen Hurts is a supposed Giants fan, I think.
Like, Eli, first of all, I don't think we also, Eli Manning, with a 9, I believe weren't they? Their first year was 9-7. Their 2007 was that 9-7 or the 10-6? I always get confused.
That was 10-6, and I think the second one was 9-7.
Either way, borderline double-digit teams. Let's not forget that they only lost to that undefeated Patriots team last game of the season, 38-35. They were on the cusp of beating the undefeated Patriots, and they got their revenge in the Super Bowl. Not to mention that they beat the division winners, the Dallas Cowboys, who won that division. They were 13-3 in that division. Then they beat the Buccaneers in wild card. Then they go to the conference championship and beat a 13-3 Packers team at Lambeau Field with Brett Favre there to get to the Super Bowl. Eli Manning aced it. And then you look at the 2011, what they beat. I remember that game against the Falcons. They beat them like 24-2 or something like that. Then you go up against the Niners, right? And then you had the
it was the Packers, then the Niners.
Packers, 15-1 Packers. And then the Niners.
The Niners with a defense that it's just a loss to NFL history how good that Niners defense was.
And get this, he had to travel to every single one of those games because the Giants didn't win the division in both those years. You had to go to those games. You had to go away games.
But get this, baby.
We haven't even brought
up the fact that both times it was who did he meet at the end?
Right.
Who did he outplay?
The best quarterback of all time, and beat him twice. Oh, all right. I don't know, man. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Insane to me. Listen. Jaden said a yap session on obvious rage bait. I don't care if it's obvious rage bait, bro. Like we're letting it get out of hand. We as a community, as an NFL community, need to come together and put an end to the Jalen Hurts discourse that's going on. We were just
Prime
talking about award
Eli.
predictions, bro.
Yeah.
I saw people predicting Jalen Hurts is the MVP. That's not happening. Saquon
Yo,
will win the MVP
I'm sorry.
before Jalen Hurts.
I'm sorry. This is how you know, like the Philly fans are blessed with their own. I mean, are cursed with their own success because they keep talking about how Jalen Hurts is such a good quarterback. How are you ever going to actually see that he's a good quarterback? How are you actually going to put him in an MVP conversation with a team around him like that? Let's be honest. If anybody deserves to be an MVP, it's Saquon Barkley. You can't have two front-runner MVPs. That doesn't make any sense. How do you have two
Most
candidates for
valuable
MVP on the same team? That makes no sense. That means one of those guys, both of those guys are probably not the most valuable. Come on. If anybody's going to be most valuable, it's Saquon Barkley. You know?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense, but whatever.
All right.
Man, I can't.
We're
Wow, I can't believe you showed me that video. I was gonna put a hole through my monitor, man. Oh my god, I would take prime Eli. I would take prime Eli 10 times out of 10 over prime Jalen Hurts. I wouldn't even give a second thought
I
to
agree.
it.
I agree.
Wouldn't even give a second thought to it. But whatever. Wow.
Well, we're gonna rein it back in, guys. We're gonna rein it back in.
I'm about to
and
wrap
go
it up
to
soon because
Defensive
the
Player of the
game
Year.
is coming out.
Yeah. For the Defensive Player of the Year award, I got Will Anderson up here because I feel like he could take a major leap. I feel like he could have a breakout. And I do think with the state of the Texans, somebody brought it up way earlier about the state of the Texans. I think if their defense and Will Anderson really shows out this year, is going to help them a lot. I feel like he could have like a 15 to 18 sack type season, and that's who I'm thinking of. And I wanted to say somebody that wasn't like the regular, there's a usual 3 or 4 guys that get nominated for this like early on. But who are you thinking?
I don't know. I haven't even gone through these like best defenders yet. But I'm trying to think if there's because I feel like there's always an edge rusher who gets it. Corners don't get no love.
Like just
I know
just
we're never gonna
tossing
see a
out
guy
there,
like Luke Kuechly again. Maybe Pat
which is
Surtain.
unfortunate. Yeah, PS2 could go back to back. That would be insane for his resume, like historically speaking.
Oh, he
Just
got
other
it,
edge
right?
rushers. Yeah, he just got it. Other edge rushers, Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, somebody that's never gotten it before. Like Max Crosby, maybe. Like he's never gotten it before, but he's one of the best edge rushers in the game.
Max Crosby, possibly. You know who who I think can get it if he stays healthy because he's coming back off the injury. I don't know if he's gonna be ready week 1. Aiden Hutchinson. I love Aiden Hutchinson, man.
Bro, I'm worried that he's gonna lose a step after his injury, and I hope I'm wrong. But
I hope I'm wrong too because the trajectory he was headed was like towards like defensive player of the year type stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like that's one of the worst injuries you get as an edge rusher. I don't know. I don't know how he's gonna be, man. So who you nominating then, or you want to just be like, all right, any of those guys?
You know what's crazy? Man, am I crazy for saying like Micah? Just being in a
on
new
the Packers? No,
environment?
you're not. You're not at all.
Like
He just got placed in a better defense.
Yeah, he got placed in a better defense where he doesn't need to be like the automatic. Like, yeah, I mean, granted, the Green Bay doesn't really have like heavy hitters like that, but they still have like Rashawn Gary, Lucas Van Ness. Like they have some edge rushers over there, and they're just a better team. So, man, Micah put in a new environment. I could say Micah is a candidate for sure.
Okay, and then let's close off this topic. We got to speed up a little bit as you mentioned. With Coach of the Year, who am I thinking for Coach of the Year? I'm gonna let you start this one off because I actually got to think about it a little bit.
Yeah, me too. Let me see all coaches in the NFL.
I'm trying to see.
Oh, you know who could be a really good coach of the year if he turns up that team? My man Jim Harbaugh, bro. My man Jim Harbaugh.
That's not bad.
He already brought that team. Oh, AJS just said Jim Harbaugh just now. I think Jim Harbaugh is a candidate because the Chargers were like before him, they were like really going downhill. He wound up turning that team around and like trying to get the most out of Justin Herbert and building that team. He's helping like build that team really well. And if he has that team competing with, like we're gonna see tomorrow because they play tomorrow in Rio. If he has that team competing with the Chiefs in the West, like you're automatically in consideration because the Chargers were always looked at as like, yeah, sure they're good, but are they really going to be the Chiefs type team?
Yeah.
If they could find a way to compete with the Chiefs, did they beat them last year? Or am I bugging?
Did they? There's no way they did. I feel like.
Hold on.
Hold up.
Chiefs versus Chargers 2024. They beat them last year? No, they won. No, they beat them twice. They beat them twice. But
Okay.
it was really close game. 17-10, 13-12. Oh, was that January? Oh yeah, that was Wait, what am I looking at here? Why am I seeing two? They face each other 3 times?
Why would they face each other? What?
Oh, never mind. That's January 27. That's January 2024. I'm looking at all 2024, and they put the prior season, like 2023 season, in there.
Mhm.
That's why. But they faced each other 17-10 and 19-7, so they were really close. But if they could find a way to get over the hump of the Chiefs, I think he's definitely in the running. I would say Jim Harbaugh.
Shout out to Giants 1995 AJ's. I see that Jaden says Jonathan Gannon. That's a coach. That's what I'll say to that. AJ, that's not bad.
Coach. He is one of the coaches of the NFL.
Yeah. AJ's, that's another one. If Pete Carroll gets, because I don't think the Raiders are very talented, but if he gets them to the playoffs, yeah, that's one. Who I'll say similar to Harbaugh in the sense that they're kind of making a comeback to the NFL. I'm gonna say Sean Payton. If the Broncos are as good as everybody's hyping them up to be, I'm gonna say Sean Payton.
Yeah.
They're getting a lot of hype right now, bro. The Broncos.
They are, and it's bringing back the hype that they had back in 2023 when, was it 2022 when Russell first got there?
Yeah, it is.
When Russell first got there, and they were like,
yeah.
"Yo, this team is like Super Bowl bound or whatever." They got Sean Payton, they got Russell Wilson, and then it just went all like down in the dumpster. And now they're starting to rebuild that with a different quarterback and like still having. They have a really low key like good defense. Like
They just
the
re-signed Nick
Broncos-
Benito.
Yeah, the Broncos got something good going on. So I think they're.
And I gotta say, I was
receivers are
wrong on
like-
Bo Nix.
Yeah, I think I'm wrong on Bo Nix. He's productive. I just don't. I don't know. Some quarterbacks are productive, but you're just like, I don't know if I like him yet. But yeah, I mean, he finds a way to get in the end zone. I will give him that. Whether it's through the air or on the ground, like he finds a way to get in the end zone. So we'll see.
And then we have very little time left, but I'll see how much we could get through here with just week 1 across the NFL. We could just limit it as simple as just let's go through quick and see who we got for wins and losses. How does the share image work? Okay, it's there. I guess I'll have to take this guy off when we get to the bottom. All right, Cowboys, Eagles. I'm going to go Eagles.
Oh, yeah, the game tonight, I'm going Eagles.
Yeah. Kansas City Chargers. I'm going to go KC. I'm sorry. Until the Chargers could show me they could beat them.
Real quick, by the way, anybody in this chat that's in my ESPN Pick'em League, is not, first of all, it's not too late to join. And second of all, make your pick. Don't forget to make your pick on the game. So anybody that's in there.
Yeah. Oh, also Giants 1995. No, episode 2 will not take 3 years. It will be next week. KB and I think did we agree on Tuesday or we're still working out Tuesday?
Yeah.
Next Tuesday.
We're definitely gonna put a formal announcement, but we were talking about it. We're
Exactly.
gonna be doing it on Tuesdays. It's a lot better of a time. So.
Yep. So is this not? Yeah, this is 2025. What do you mean? What are these games, Jaden? But yeah, I'm gonna go KC.
No, he
You're going
probably
KC as well?
says he's probably just saying it's a bad slate. Oh wait. Yeah, wait, what's going on here?
Yeah, what is Giants Raiders? I'm just seeing this. Why does it say 2025? All right, guys, I'm gonna take this off.
Wait, yeah, was that CBS? Is that
Yeah.
that looks like a CBS graphic? CBS is garbage. Oh my god, they're terrible with everything. Because that's literally the first couple games is correct.
Yeah. So you know what? Instead of sharing an image, I'm just gonna share screen. We're just gonna go off of my friendly neighborhood Google.
Bam.
All right, bam.
That was a good looking graphic too, but it's a shame.
It
that
was,
CBS
right?
is incompetent.
So then number 2, Chiefs Chargers. Yep, I'm going Chargers. Let's go to number 3, which is Dolphins Colts. I'm gonna go Dolphins.
Oh wait, you're going
purely
Chargers?
because-
You're going Chargers?
No, I'm going Chiefs. Did I say
Oh,
Chargers?
you're going
My
Chiefs?
bad.
You
Yeah,
said
yeah,
Chargers. Yo, call me crazy. I'm going Chargers.
Really? All
I
right.
am.
The only reason I'm going Chiefs is because
I
you
think
got
the
Chargers.
Chiefs are
You got to
falling
show me
off.
that you could beat them. That's it.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right about that. But I think this is the year. And they're
You
on a
think so?
neutral playing field. They're in a neutral playing field.
In
I'm
Brazil,
gonna say
right?
Chargers. Yeah, they're in Rio.
Okay.
So I'm
Uh,
gonna say. Oh no, are they? No, they're not in Rio. They're Sao Paulo.
Sao
But
Paulo, got you.
yeah. Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna
I'm
go
gonna say
Dolphins
Chargers.
because Daniel Jones is starting. And that's that. Although later on
Yo,
in the
should
year, I
I
think the
say
Dolphins are
Colts
gonna be
just
bad.
for that? Should I
You
say
could.
Colts just for that?
Daniel Jones actually
no,
has
to
a
be honest,
breakout year.
to be honest with you though, the Dolphins are just better. They're just better. The Colts got so much to figure out. They don't even know what type of team they are. They don't know if they
Yeah.
want to be a young, inexperienced, developmental team, or they want to be, to get veterans in there. I'm gonna say the Dolphins. I'm gonna say the Dolphins win that one.
Steelers, Jets. I'm gonna go Steelers. I feel like the Jets could potentially be one of the worst teams in the league this year.
The QB swap. The QB
Mhm.
swap. Aaron Rodgers is a Steeler and Justin Fields is a Jet. Listen, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to be any good this year, but just team as a team, the Steelers are going to win this game. The Jets are going to be god awful. Justin Fields is ass. He is garbage. I can't believe they don't have a backup plan besides like the Tyrod Taylor who gets hurt just when he
You
steps
think their
on the
backup
field.
plan is just Arch? Like it
I
might not
think
be
their
Arch,
backup-
Drew Aller.
Their backup plan is just lose and get a quarterback in the next year, like
Yeah.
Lenore Sellers or something like that. So I'm taking Steelers in this one.
Yep. Panthers, Jaguars. This is interesting because I feel like these teams are like on equal standing. The Panthers,
Yeah.
the thing is I feel like the Jaguars have slowly been on the way down, and the Panthers, since Bryce Young got off the benching, like they've been slowly on the way up. This could go either way. I'm gonna go with the Panthers, which might be the upset here.
Yeah, I don't know what the lines are for this game, who's favored, but I'm gonna go Panthers as well. I think like you said, Bryce Young is on the way up, and I really like what they're getting out of Ted McMillan. I was a huge Ted McMillan fan, and I know he's gonna prove me right. So I'm gonna take the Panthers here.
So Cardinals Saints, we got Jonathan Gannon here, the legendary coach, as Jaden has told us. But I'm gonna go with the Cardinals. I like the Saints are going to be one of the worst in the league. 100%.
I am gonna choose any team that's going against the Saints until the Saints actually win a game. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be Cardinals for sure. Like that's just default. Sorry, but just default.
Yep. We already did Giants Commanders. We both got Giants. No need to rehash that. Buccaneers Falcons. I'm going Bucks. I think the Bucks got a good thing going. I want to give credit to them real quick. They did an amazing job continuing to be successful post Tom Brady. The gamble on Baker Mayfield paid off, and last year he was one of the best QBs in the league. I think the Bucks improved. That's just it for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Bucks here. I follow the Bucks a lot, being down here in Florida, having a lot of friends that are Bucks fans, so I follow them a lot, and they have a really good team going. Like they have one of the most complete rosters in the NFL, and deepest rosters in the NFL.
I'm also a fan of Emeka Ibuka.
Oh yeah, for sure.
rookie
And shout out
receiver.
to my boy Sterling Shepard, because they have revamped that they have so much young talent on that wide receiver roster, and Sterling Shepard is still on the roster. So let's go Sterling Shepard. Go Bucks. Go Bucks.
49ers Seahawks. This is interesting because 49ers obviously they weren't good last year, but that's more.
Wait, we skipped.
injury.
I mean, we can do.
Oh, we skipped the
49ers
row.
Seahawks.
You're right. Bengals
Yeah.
Browns. Let me go Bengals. No explanation needed. I feel like.
Joe Brrr, let's go Bengals.
Yeah. Raiders Patriots. This is interesting. Everybody's high on Drake May. Kind of similar to like the Broncos and Bo Nix. The Patriots, they have an improved roster, but I still feel like their offense is not going to be nearly as good as everybody thinks. I don't like the receiver room. And I guess I'll pick another upset here and go with the Raiders. I think the Raiders, because you have a veteran QB on the other side, and I think their defensive line, especially Max Crosby, can get to Drake May. Not that the Patriots have a bad offensive line. I'm gonna go with the Raiders.
That's interesting. Geno, Ashton Genty. I'm just not in love with their wide receiver core. They're really like putting a lot of stock into their rookie Deontay Thornton, and they're saying he's gonna be really good, but I just don't know that yet. I'm gonna say the Patriots. I'm gonna say Drake May is on his way up, and I believe he could be a team elevator. So I'm gonna say the Patriots here on the home team.
Yep. 49ers, Seahawks. I'm gonna go Niners. I'm saying they're gonna bounce back this year if they can stay healthy.
Yeah.
Seahawks is really interesting though, because I think they've tried to improve their offensive line. We'll see what the effects are. But they've always been a team I feel like that low-key overachieved the past couple of years.
Yeah, I'm gonna give me the Niners. Like, Brock Purdy's has been in that system for a while now. He's kind of mastered it, and Christian McCaffrey is apparently, I think he's healthy. He's ready to go.
Mhm.
So Christian McCaffrey is always huge threat. Um, and they got Sam Darnold starting right there in his first season there with a new team. I don't know how well it's gonna go. Give me the Niners here.
Titans Broncos. Unfortunately, I think Cam Ward's gonna get absolutely murdered on the field.
Just
I feel
yeah,
so
just what
bad for him.
Jaden said that in the
Yeah,
comments. Yo,
I yeah, I'm going Broncos.
give me the Broncos. This is such a bad matchup for Cam Ward. If he finds a way to pull this game out, he's everybody's gonna turn their heads because
Yeah.
Broncos that defense is no slouch.
Now these next 3 games are interesting. Lions Packers. I know obviously we know the Packers, they just got Micah, insane
Mhm.
addition.
Mhm.
Lions, I like, even if Aiden Hutchinson isn't 100% what he was before the injury, they still have one of the best rosters in the league, one of the most well-rounded rosters in the league. I'm going to go Packers though, and it's not because of the rosters. It's because I legitimately think the loss of both coordinators is going to affect them big time, especially the loss of Aaron Glenn. I know Ben Johnson, he's great. I'm not taking anything away from him. I think Glenn was more important to that team than Johnson was, and I'm going to go Packers.
Yeah, I mean the Lions did sweep them last year, but like you said, there are a lot of factors that have changed, and there are a lot of things that is going in the Packers' favor right now. They just got Micah Parsons, huge. They just finally drafted a wide receiver in the first round in Matthew Golden, who I think is going to be a big impact type guy. The Lions lost both their coordinators. I don't know if Aiden Hutchinson's going to be ready for this game. But I think the Packers are gonna have a new energy to them because they just got Micah, and I think they're gonna play a lot better with him in the lineup. So I'm gonna have the Packers there.
Texans, Rams. I'm gonna go Texans because I'm not sure what the whole Matt Stafford situation is. It's been hilarious though, all the ironic conspiracies. Like, people are making the conspiracies for fun. Like, Matt Stafford is dead. They cloned him. That's not him. But at the same time, the Texans line might be one of the worst in the NFL. So I can see the Rams winning purely off of that. But I'm gonna go with the Texans just because of better quarterback play. Because I don't think Stafford is, or if he is playing, I don't think he's gonna be, Stafford.
Yeah, I would agree, but the Texans took such a step back last season where I'm really skeptical on them moving forward. Is Nico Collins healthy?
He should be for week 1. The only reason I'm saying that is because I did a fantasy draft last night, and like there was no
he
questionable
wasn't.
next to him.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha. Yeah, I was trying to think back as well. I didn't draft him, but I saw him there. So, but I'm actually gonna take the Rams here because the Rams, if you look at their defense looks scary, bro. Like
And guess what?
like
Jared
everybody
Verse could
knows
feast on their line, on the Houston line.
everybody knows them for their offense. Matt Stafford when he's healthy. You got Puka in there, Kyron Williams, and Devontae Adams is there now. So it's like everybody talks about their offense, but their defense looks scary good, man. So I'm gonna take the Rams here, actually.
Ravens Bills. This might be the best game week 1, man. I'm gonna just roll with my guy Lamar. I think it's gonna be a good game.
Ooh,
I
what a game.
think that what the difference is gonna be is the fact that Lamar has more weapons to work with than Josh Allen, and there's only so much you could Superman a team.
We're gonna settle that MVP discussion in this game, man. Who really
Yeah.
deserved the win there? Man, the Bills are home. We got the Ravens. Oh, you know, I never understand how Josh Allen is able to work with what he has because he has like nothing. Like like
Mhm.
as far as receiver core goes, like shout out to my Boise boy Khalil Shakir, but like he's in no way should be a number 2 receiver.
A number 1.
Yeah, number 1. Yeah, even number 1 because Keon Coleman, like I don't think he's good at all. I'm sorry, I don't think Keon Coleman is good. They really don't have much after that. I'm gonna take the Ravens here. Lamar just has so much more to work with, and Lamar's just
Exactly.
able to do a lot. So, give me the Ravens here.
And then finally, Vikings, Bears. Interesting because I think the Vikings have the overall better roster, but you're going to see JJ McCarthy for the first time versus the Bears, where it's not like Caleb Williams is a star just yet, but he has more experience starting an NFL game than JJ McCarthy does. I think I'm going to go Vikings though, because of Kevin O'Connell. I think
Hmm.
I don't know if underrated is the right word, but he's 100% one of the best coaches in the league. And I like, sometimes he doesn't get recognition for it, in my opinion. And I
Yeah.
think he could outcoach whatever the Bears could put on the field.
one of the best play callers right now in the NFL is Kevin O'Connell, and one of the best play designers right now. So yeah, I'm probably gonna have to give it to the Vikings. There is a little bit of a worry there. I don't know if Justin Jefferson is gonna be completely healthy for this game. A lot of people that he's saying that he's having some injury issues. Jordan Addison was on the injury report as well, if I'm not mistaken. So a little bit of a hit to their wide receiving core, but. I think JJ McCarthy is going to be fine. The Bears have a lot to figure out. They got a young, talented team, but let's see if they win their home opener in week 1. But I'm going to say the Vikings here.
And we're going to be right out because you just got me. I know I didn't realize the game has started, but this is hilarious if true. Jalen Carter in Dak's face and got ejected. That is so freaking funny. We're going to end it right now, guys. Thank you, everybody, for tuning out. We got to go watch this game. Shout out to everybody. Will be a formal announcement, but most likely next week, Tuesday, Young Guns episode 2. Thank you so much, and peace.